It's noticeable when people come to visit the calm nature of the school, particularly as this is a school for children who have lost their place in mainstream school, generally because of their behaviour, that the calm atmosphere created by a large number of staff meditating has made a big difference to the lives of children, even before they've started their meditation practice as well.
When I was first approached about TM, I was reasonably sceptical about it because I didn't have a great understanding of the impact that it would make. And now I can see the benefit both personally and with our students.
I've found actually that even simple things like the minor annoyances at work where you get a little angry, the next free period I go and meditate and I deal with it differently. I definitely do. It's been a real life changer for me.
We all agree, and it's a regular topic of conversation, that there's a calmness, there's a kind of a slightly different focus in the way we approach our school day, and that can only be beneficial to us but also to the young people that we're working with.
I feel like I've been given permission almost just to have time to myself, to think, to relax, to just let everything kind of flow, and it's amazing. I love it.
We're problem solving all the time, and we're in a process of change currently, and I think it's helped me to generate ideas that maybe I wouldn't have thought of doing without the meditation. It's made me much more creative in terms of my thinking and problem solving.
On a personal level, I've seen nothing but benefits, and if it benefits me, I can't see how it would fail to benefit at least some other people. And anything that makes your life better and you feel better about your life has got to be worthwhile.
If you'd said to me a year ago that I would be meditating regularly over a period of a year, I wouldn't have believed you. If you'd said to me a year ago after listening to Richard talk that it was something that rang true to my own sense of self and true to how I want to be, I wouldn't have believed you. The impact on my life personally has been significant.
When I first said I was doing it, I've got a 15-year-old son and stepson and an older daughter, and they were all a bit sort of like, yeah, all right, this is going to be really funny. But yeah, they noticed, and my husband says I'm a lot calmer.
I put so much into being the father, being the husband, being the carer for my father, all of the above, and I was putting myself bottom of the pile or not even in the pile at all. And I think what TM does, it gives you that opportunity to reflect on that and realise that if you do that, eventually there'll be payback, and then you're no good to anybody. You have to find that daily time for yourself.
I think it's about partnership as well, because with the people that are meditating, we share this sort of, it's almost like a hidden commonality that we understand each other even more. And that's quite effective, because at work you're thrown together and you're bound by the work you do. And in this case, it's for the teaching and the learning of the youngsters in our care. But that extra tier of binding us together, I suppose as humans, it has had measurable impact.
34 of our staff are practicing on a regular basis, and they all reported very significant changes in how they felt about themselves as individuals, but also about how they felt as employees of our company, about how they felt in their work. And all of them said they felt more valued, and they were very significant results, very powerful indeed. And it's renewed my practice and the practice of those people in school when I've fed back the results to them.
I find myself having a much more sort of balanced, wide-ranging perspective on issues that sort of crop up on a daily basis. So, which again, I think changes the way that sometimes I address issues with staff and with other people. So I think that's been a big benefit to everybody.
One of the things that I'm particularly interested in professionally is the idea of voice, the idea of student voice, the idea of equipping young people with the skills to express themselves. And one of the things we've found with that over time is that very often the young people that we deal with can fly off the handle, they can feel threatened, they can feel like a conversation, particularly with a person in authority, is something which is a threat to them. And I think certainly, my experience of meditation and looking at some of the research as well, the ability to react more calmly, I suppose, in a more measured way is something that I think they would benefit from for sure.
I think I sleep better having done it. I feel calmer. I feel like I maybe think a bit clearer, or I'm less stressed when I'm problem solving. I just love it, really love it.
My family will tell you that I take less things home, I take less baggage home, because my day finishes and I'm much calmer in the way that I deal with things.
Although I haven't actually done the proper research yet, I would say that for those people who are regular meditators, there's been less incidence of ill health amongst them. And there are one or two people I can think of who in the previous year had a significant amount of time off, who've had virtually none this year.
The modern way of doing education in this country with exams really takes, or it's a good attempt to take all the joy out of teaching. Obviously I want my kids to be able to read and write, but I want to hear that they're enjoying themselves and they're socially doing well. We're losing that, and we need to put something back in. I really strongly feel that. And things like TM, I think are wonderful, and with very little cost and very little weight on the system, can do a lot to help that.
I suppose I'm approaching my day with a much greater degree of calm and focus. I don't tend to worry as much as I used to about, I suppose, getting through the day in terms of how hectic it is. We're more and more prepared to sort of take time out and think for ourselves. And I think by doing that in the morning and doing that in the evening, it's had a measurable impact.
Not everyone will take to it, but even if just a few do, I think that kind of level of calmness kind of permeates down a bit, doesn't it? And then hopefully then feeds into the pupils as well.
People think it's like a religion, and the religion you do have to give. You have to go to church, etc., etc. You have to give that sort of emotionally. TM doesn't ask anything of you. You make the decisions, and then you go with it as far as you like. And I found that very attractive.
What I personally find very, very useful in terms of meditation is having that time in an otherwise very busy day, very busy lifestyle, to just sit and close the eyes and almost take the time out to recharge the batteries, if you like. I think that's really important.
We've sometimes talked about how you fit it in, particularly if you've got busy home life. And people have talked about stopping the car in a car park and meditating and doing all sorts of things like that. So I think when it becomes important to you, you just do find the time and the space to be able to do it.
I've started getting up sort of half an hour earlier, so I can do the 20 minutes in the morning, and in the evenings I just watch 20 minutes less television when I get in, so that's easily done, you know.
Not only do I enjoy it, that time for yourself, that time for almost shutting a very busy brain down has made me feel very much like a different person.
One of the things that I was very impressed with when I looked at the video footage of other schools that had used TM was it was quite amazing to notice the eyes of the young people on the videos, and they were all shining and their faces were shining. And one of the things that worries me about the young people that we teach is that they look very down and very miserable, and I'm quite concerned about that level of depression and misery in children as young as they are. So I am hoping that shining light that comes from within that I've seen on the videos will be transferred into our schools.